And we are live.
All right, good evening, everybody. Today is Tuesday, April 28th, 2026. A little bit after 7 p.m. Crazy B and I have been having Discord issues pretty much all day when I come to think of it.
That
We
lightning
had
was
those,
scary. Sorry, we just had a
yeah,
big old
we had,
flash of lightning outside.
okay. Yeah, we had a couple weird things just happening with the Discord. And we wonder if it's our topics that we're talking about or what, but thank you for joining Rex Sisters. Please don't forget to hit the like button. That is probably one of the most important things that you could do for us to boost the algorithm. Obviously, we would like you to subscribe, follow, share the video. Don't forget to set your notifications. And if you have the wherewithal, you will see in the upper right hand corner our QR code. Any donations go directly to us, and we would greatly appreciate them. We are underwater probably $750 by now, I would say, because we had to purchase some additional upgrades so that we could be legit. And we'd like to start making a little bit of money out of this. Hey, Blue, thanks for modding for us, babe. Uh,
Why did I do a
so,
salute when she can't even freaking see me? I
are you
saluted the
doing it again?
screen.
Because
Yep.
this earlier in the week when you waved, now
Uh
you think
huh.
the salute's gonna work.
I didn't even say a word.
Okay,
You were saying thank you, and I just saluted the screen.
there you go.
Whatever.
Uh-huh. Well,
Don't know
after
where the
today,
fuck that came from.
I don't know either. I think you might be having issues today. Are you all right?
Physically or mentally?
All of the above?
I don't know. Oh my god. Blue's laughing
If you
at
hear,
me.
yeah, if you hear bottles jingling or jangling or meds shaking like this, which I'll try not to do, that's me. I'm taking my meds early tonight because I have to be up very early tomorrow for my third doctor's appointment. But we'll get into that later. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Why don't we start with you today, Crazy B? And kind of,
My
in
day's
case
been great,
anybody's
and it started
curious
with the
about the
thumbnail.
thumbnail, yeah, yeah.
You said we wanted to debunk Jimmy Kimmel, and so what did I put? I put debunk Kimmy Jimmel. So
Uh
we
huh.
just stuck with it because,
Yeah.
debunking Kimmy Jimmel is so much more logical, according to my brain and mouth disconnect. So, yeah, we're debunking.
The meat's still a bit frozen, so I'm gonna leave it. But
You can cook it. It's from partial frozen. It's beef. It's not chicken or pork. You can still cook it partially frozen. It's all good. Oh, jeez, oh, Pete. Her first time wanting to make teriyaki steak and peppers and stuff like that. So,
Mhm.
um, but
That that'll work.
yeah, for some reason, I felt the need to say Kimmy Jimmel instead of Jimmy Kimmel. My
I mean, I
brain
thought I was
just
gonna pee my pants laughing. It was so freaking funny the way it came out.
make sure I'm not in a padded room.
Uh-huh. Too
uh,
bad that we weren't live for that one. That would have been a perfect short.
oh yeah. Oh my god. Like, and it's just so random. We're in the middle
Mm-hmm.
of having an important conversation, and what does my brain do? It derails everything all in one shot. But we got some good
I
laughs and
Yeah, and I tried combining the words, and I can't even remember, but it came out manifesto
yes,
instead of manifesto. So we figured today's title should really be Tongue Twister Tuesday.
basically.
And
Ow! And I just
there's so much
stabbed
read
myself with my.
there's so much reading that has to happen. Neither one of us are making any guarantees that we know any of the
Oh,
English language.
especially since I just stabbed myself in the eye with the earpiece of my glasses.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Anywho, it's gonna be one of those days. Who's ready to laugh their ass off?
Mm-hmm. Yes, most definitely.
Oh my god. Between what you have been going through, what I managed to bungle and bubble, bungle, juggle, drop, and whatever
I,
the other shit.
yeah,
Been a it's been a wild day.
yeah.
It
So
really
I
has.
had that, yeah, appointment today, and I get a call right before I'm getting ready to get in the shower that they want me to come into the office early. And I said that wasn't possible. And they said, "Oh, well, get here as soon as you can." And I said, "That's not possible. They're over an hour away." I had plans for my ride to come pick me up. And so we went back and forth and back and forth. And ultimately, the appointment was canceled, only to be rescheduled for August.
It's better than October. Still
And I
sucks.
basically said, "I'm done. I've had it. I can't stand it."
Mhm.
I left a voicemail with the nurse's station because they didn't pick up, and I was sobbing. And so they called me probably an hour later or whatever. And my regular neurologist said, they called and said, "He has a 2 o'clock opening. Can you come in?" And I'm like, uh, put me in and I'll see if I can get my ride. And I'm panicking, thinking, can I make it in time to get there by 2? When she then goes, "Oh, we could do this telehealth." And I'm like, "Well, absolutely. Like, why wouldn't I? Why would I have to come into the office? I mean, he knows me. I just saw him last month."
Yeah, it's not like a brand new patient
Mhm.
surprise.
Right. So, as you know, I was crying when I talked to you, crying when I told Eric, basically crying all day. Finally get a
Frustration.
hold of him. Yes, the list, was sobbing, and just said to him, "Look, I'm tired. Tired of putting on the front in front of you, all my other doctors, my husband, my family, my grandchildren, my close friends, everybody. Nobody knows the truth, and I'm done. And either you're going to help me, or," I said, "I'm not going to commit suicide or anything like that, but I'm going to start taking things into my own hands. And that means I'm probably going to start adding alcohol to the mix." He's like, "D,
Mhm.
you can't do that." I said, "Watch me." I said, "I know for a fact." I said, "You guys sent me to use medical marijuana, and I spent $2,000 out of pocket, and it did absolutely jack shit.
Mhm.
No high, no low, no munchies, no sleeping, nothing. But I know alcohol works.
Mhm.
I've told you, we have alcoholism in the family, and I worry that, what if one drink at night, which my PCP actually said I could have up to 2 glasses of wine every night, which I never
Mhm.
did do. What if that would turn into more? Like, what if at lunchtime I said, "Oh man, I'm really in pain. Let me go to have
Mhm.
some alcohol," that kind of thing.
Well,
Now, I
that's
don't
where
abuse my narcotics, you know what I
yeah.
mean? So you would think that if I was that bad, I actually have extras of stuff because I don't take my pain pills, and that probably would help.
Mhm.
I don't take them when the baby's here because I'm worried that I would fall asleep or not have my falco, here we go.
Faculties.
Thank you about me. And so I suffer through the day without it. And so by the time he leaves and, dinner time hits, I'm usually beside myself at that point.
Uh-huh.
Plus, 2 broken shoulders, a broken left foot, broken big toe. 2 baby toes that are broke that he's going to amputate, plus internal repairs that need done, plus yesterday's appointment that didn't go so hot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done. I've had it. What the fuck kind of quality of life is this? If you're
Well,
gonna say there's, you're on the max of meds, and I know there's other stuff that could be done, but the insurance company doesn't want to pay for it.
yeah.
You know what I mean? They want me to contribute. I can't do it. I already spend $7,000 to $8,000 a year out of pocket on my copays.
That's insane.
So now what he thinks, he's like, well, what's the thing that's the worst? And I told him, and he said, well, I think that you should. And now I'm getting referred to the 19th specialist. They want to do injections of steroids into my back and my lower buttocks and see if that can. He thinks that it's a combination between my spine's really jacked up in bad shape, and he thinks there could be compression on the nerves that is
Mm-hmm.
causing the deadness in my leg, because it's all the way up past my kneecap now, and I'm
Yeah.
actually dragging my leg. I have to make a conscious effort, and I'm not going in the fucking wheelchair. It ain't happening.
Mm-hmm.
One, I won't be able to sit in the wheelchair that long, just from a bone perspective. You know what I mean? I have no fat left on my body. There's nothing left.
And that's hard because then your bones are pushing against your skin.
Yes.
So.
Yes. And then I'll get, pressure ulcers and shit. I'm done. And I'm done with sugarcoating shit. I'm done with all of it. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just done. And so, by the way, I need if Eric didn't come home with alcohol for me, so well, there's that. Even though he said he was going to, I guess he figures he's not going to contribute to the delinquency of a minor. I'll have to
uh,
order online, I guess, right?
will they let you ship it from online
So
without
you
a
can
lot?
ship wine. I know you can ship wine, but I don't think you can ship hard liquor. My brother-in-law
Okay,
works for a liquor store. I can have him get me stuff.
that makes sense.
Yeah, and drop it off. I mean, all I'm looking for is 3 to 4 hours every night worth of sleep. Not going 3 and 4 days with no sleep, no nap in
Mm-hmm.
between. The most I do is rest, is what I call it. Not even with my eyes closed. I'm usually working, as you know, at doing something. And if it isn't working, I'm looking at some video or music or something, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Uh, and even though if I try to power off or do whatever, then I'm just doing something else, reading a book, cleaning, whatever. And the thing is that I'm up, I'm doing stuff. I said to him, you know, I watch a 13-month-old 5 days a week. I do a podcast 2 hours every day. You have no idea how many hours I spend on research bullshit. I help out other content creators. I'm working on another project. I take care of the business books. I still manage to make meals. I do dishes. I do laundry.
You do a
And I'm
lot.
I, and I'm tired. I'm tired. It's getting to be old. And for them not to do anything, and like I said, there's stuff that can be done. There's IVIG that could be done, that could be tried. Oh no, that's $25,000 a month. You're not worth it. Nope, nope. So I have another appointment tomorrow. We'll see what he has to say. I'm somewhat hopeful that he might be able to help, because things have kind of taken a different twist.
Mm-hmm.
And so there might be meds that he might be able to offer up. We'll see. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. But,
Oh,
you
one
know, I
thing at a
truly
time.
believe, yeah, I truly believe that God knew today I was on my knees because, you know, for me to be able to get a 2 o'clock, you know, a 2 o'clock appointment with my neurologist was God calling. You
Yep.
know that it
God
really
was looking
was.
out for you on
Because
that one.
yeah, because it takes 9 months to get an appointment.
Mhm.
You know,
That
when
was
you
a
leave the
very good
office, yeah,
blessing.
yeah, when you leave the office, you schedule an appointment. Because if not, and you
Good
get
luck.
home, yep, good luck.
Yeah, the
Uh,
same thing with some of my doctors down here. It's like you find a good one, you keep them at all cost.
uh, yes,
Hence why I
ma'am.
go to rheumatology for two providers. Like I go to Louisville, way the heck out because it's
Yep.
better than dealing with some of the numbskulls in the area.
Well, that is another option I have. I could start going out to the major universities, but
Mhm.
you know, that's over an hour and a half. Parking's a bitch, you know, being
But they would find you fascinating as all get out.
oh, oh yeah. I mean, um, yeah, it's always an option. You know, they wanted me to go to Cleveland Clinic the last couple years, insurance. Oh yeah, they'll let me go, but you have to pay half of all costs. Plus, that'd be up there. Spend several days. You need hotel to stay and all of that. And I'm like, you know
Mhm.
what? It's just not worth it to me. No, no,
Definitely.
no, 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 no. Sorry, I was talking to Eric.
Oh, I was gonna
Would
say
you shut this
definitely
off?
doing travel like camping and vacationing stuff in our area. We are not going far from home. It's too
Yeah,
expensive.
yeah. Everything's just out of reach right now. You know,
Mhm.
I mean, I'm pinching pennies as it is here and there for meds and whatever. You know, I said to him, look at the, you know, like I told you, the PCP was bitching. You know, I take 40 pills twice a day and stuff in between. That's just regular prescription stuff. That's nothing extra. And the PCP's like, that's ridiculous. What do you want all that damn medication for?
Who said
You
want?
sent me to all these people. Yeah, you sent me to all these people. You guys are the ones that have told me this is what's going to keep me alive. What's necessary. Uh, Take something off. Pick something. Pick one. Pick anyone. Put them up on the board.
Mhm.
Let's throw darts at them. Nope, nothing's changed. If anything, shit's going to get added.
Mhm. It only gets worse before it gets better.
So if I stop it all, right? Told you I wish I would have kept that meme, and I don't think I did. Let me look double check about alcohol. Uh, is it in my photos? It was just the other day. Hmm. I don't think I did. There's an outdoor sign. Nope, I didn't. Why didn't I? Because I kind of thought I dismissed it at the time, thinking it was stupid. But now it's very appropriate, and it's something to the effect that you know, the negativity surrounding it. But in all reality, alcohol is a solution,
Mhm.
meaning just like any other combined solutions or medicated solutions, you know. So I don't know. I lost the chat on my side.
Oh, my mouse bumped it. There it is. I
There
apologize.
it is.
I gotta adjust my settings. This light's killing my eyes. One
Hey,
moment.
Vanilla.
Hey, Vanilla. Oh, let's dim this down a little. There we go. Not so stressful on my eyes.
I gotta shut the heat off. It was freezing in here. We had rain come through last night and this most of today. It was freezing.
I know we're kind of chilly. We're still in like the 78, but it feels a lot colder because that rain has
Yeah,
finally hit.
right.
So, yeah.
So it's just frustrating.
Oh, yeah.
So, I try not to bitch about it that much. I really do. But today was just a really bad day. The whole week, like and last week was just, I just have been feeling horrible. And I guarantee you, if I went to the hospital, I'd be admitted. I know that.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, 100. We know that. But you know me. I'm not going unless I have to. So we'll see what they say tomorrow.
Okay.
And then tomorrow's escapade will be going downtown. So,
Oh, that'll be
yeah.
fun.
Uh huh. Can't wait.
Well, hopefully it goes smooth. No chaos, no confusion.
Uh, I don't know about that.
I'm not
We'll
saying
see.
it is going to. I'm saying hopefully it will be.
Right.
Putting a
Well,
wish and a
last
request.
if the last 3 years were any indicator, I don't know,
Mm-hmm. Mm.
but we'll see.
Yep.
Anyway,
Never know. It
mhm.
might be that one day when no one decides to be on the road.
you know, vanilla camping. Just try in the regular backyard. Take a step off the porch and be attacked. Right now, they're terrible.
I've done that quite a bit, but that was also
Yeah.
20 something years ago.
Yeah, the ticks are absolutely terrible right now.
It's that time of year.
What are they doing out there? Yes, it is.
We've got thunder
I
coming
mean,
through too. Damn.
yeah, Eric had one. He kept scratching at his hip, and he was like, "What the hell was so freaking itchy?" And he's at work. He pulls down his pants and his underwear, and there's a freaking tick attached to him.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, you just rip the sucker off. He gets the bullseye, all that. I call the doctor's office to get the medication. Oh
Mm-hmm.
no, he has to come in. We got to see it. I'm like,
Why?
that would have been a telehealth. Here,
Mm-hmm.
take a look. There's a picture of my hip. Look, you can clearly see it.
Yep. But when I
Yeah,
got
he gets
a bit, they had to take the bug, put it in a container, send it off to the CDC for further testing. Blah blah blah. Yeah.
jeez. I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a money grab in my opinion.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
just going to tell you. They know they can bill your insurance, you pay a copay, we make
Mm-hmm.
bank versus calling and saying, I need X. Could you call this in for me? Nope.
Mm-hmm. That's
No.
way too easy.
And then I get a text message at 4 o'clock saying, not your prescription, your appointment. I have a PCP appointment. Oh shit. On Monday. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's a good thing I just thought of that. We're going to have to switch up the live because we
Mondays
might
at
have to go.
7 to 9.
I know my appointment's at 6:30.
Ah,
Uh, aha, grasshopper. Maybe we skip Monday altogether.
that's a possibility because my
Yeah,
ex-husband's got his driving test he's got to take to get his license
yeah.
back.
Let's skip Monday and we'll go Friday, or
Okay.
maybe take Friday too. We'll see how the
All
week
right.
goes. But for sure, we'll be off Monday then. Okay, it's a good thing I thought about that. Uh, I got a text message saying that the appointment needed to be rescheduled versus a phone call. And I call the office and they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, I have a text message." They're like, "What?" do you mean you got a text message? I'm like, yeah, that's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how I got it before the office staff had it, but I did. And here my provider went into labor early by
Ah.
4 weeks. So now I get to see, well, we'll reserve judgment till the first visit, right?
True. Should do that.
Mm-hmm.
Won't know until you see him, meet him, get to know
Mm-hmm.
him.
Right. I've seen him twice via telehealth. We'll see what he's like in person.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to see if Eric got the same text. So,
I want people to be careful though about those text message things because there are some that are actually kind of predatory. They go after people and they claim to be from these insurance companies and the hospitals and
mm-hmm.
stuff, saying, "Oh,
Yes,
we're switching everyone off of paper, and if you don't sign up by now, you're gonna if you don't opt out, you've
yes,
got to come in and do this, that, the other." Always call and confirm that that is actually them because it could be just someone with a bad website and they're using it to get
yes.
your info and it's a mess. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
keep an
Anything
eye
that's
out.
related to your finances, health, anything
Hmm.
personal that you get a text that is unusual for you, double check it always.
Yes. I'm even cautious about the Walmart. Your app medication is ready. Or,
Mm-hmm.
this or hey, save on delivery. Click
Right,
this
right.
link. I ain't clicking a damn
Mm-hmm.
link. I'll go to the website and find
Right,
it myself. You know,
right.
I'm
And that's what
fussy
I
like
do.
that.
Yep.
But a lot of people
Yes.
don't get to their medical records online. They don't have home internet. They only have a home phone. They don't use a mobile phone, whatever the reasoning is. How are you going to sit there and say, if you guys haven't, switched over to this digital record, you've got like so many days that we're just going to do it for you? And I've
Well, go
seen this
ahead.
happen. Well, how are
Yeah,
they going to pay their bills if you're not sending them their bill notices in the mail?
right.
That's a big mess.
I cook the meat in butter or oil.
Mm-hmm.
You could use butter. It's fine. Oh, yeah. It's just got to be careful of some of these people out there. They will take any industry and turn it into a corrupted pile of shit. And that's
Yes, they
sad
will.
because that's our actual government. Then you take in the scammers out of the other countries.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep. It's a mess.
So, anyway, that's all that's going on this end of the woods. I haven't had the little Bubba stuff for 2 days, so I won't have them tomorrow. So, I'm on
That's good.
vacation, I guess.
Get
Yeah, I
almost an
guess I'm
entire
on
week
vacation.
away.
Yep. Yep.
That's good.
Maybe I could get away with Thursday and Friday too. I'll have to call in sick.
Mm-hmm. That's a smart way to do it, but you want
That'd
paid
be
leave.
funny.
You want paid sick days.
Yeah. Yeah, paid sick days. There you go. That'd be funny.
Uh,
All
ooh.
right. So, do you want to talk about Rumble, please, before we get started?
Yes. So it turns out we now have space to make our own emotes, emojis, whatever you want to call them. They can be moving or not moving. They just cannot be bigger than 512 by 512 and 1 megabyte. And I don't. I'm not very creative. If someone tells me what to do, I can usually pull it off. But me coming up with it on my own, forget it. So we can start making our own emotes, and if anyone has any ideas or suggestions, um, feel free. I guess I'm not good at that kind of stuff.
Yes. Just yeah, we have room for 50 of them.
Yes.
Uh, Obviously, you'll see the Rex Sisters logo there. But what were some of the other things that you saw, Crazy Bee?
Oh no,
That
what these
something
there's
about,
nothing already there. We would have to create the one.
right?
So
But I
I could
mean,
shrink
that
down the
you've
logo.
seen,
We could
yeah,
put
but you've seen like,
other people's
go ahead,
ones because they're right now the only thing on our channel is the basic emojis that you would find on a phone keyboard, basically.
right, right,
But we can put in stuff like mini emote of you, emote of me, the logo, whatever. Some people have like the dancing Trump ones and stuff. It all really just depends on, how big of a file it is. So I don't know.
yeah. You said you saw something about tomatoes, or
Oh no, no, that's over on Twitch. Over on Twitch,
oh,
I
okay,
enabled an extension where you could throw tomatoes and stuff at the screen. Um,
okay,
it's fun. I had it when I was doing gaming stuff where people can throw things at the screen. So yeah, it's a fun little
okay,
thing. And then yeah,
okay.
that sums up Twitch and Rumble's new discoveries. I still haven't figured out about YouTube, how to get our own emotes in YouTube. That's on the to-do list.
Yeah, we were kind of thinking though we had to meet their minimum.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if we had to first,
Yeah,
but it's a goal.
right.
If people want us to
It
start
is
having our own emotes and emojis, they can feel free
right.
to help out by liking,
Mm-hmm.
commenting, sharing, and following,
Yeah,
all that good stuff.
right. Yeah, you can put something in the comments. You could put it up in the Discord. Even if you don't come up with the design yourself, if you come up with an idea, we can probably get it to some people that can create some things. So
Mm-hmm.
have at it. The only thing is you have a requirement. We have a requirement, and what is that, Crazy Bee?
For the measurements of the thing.
No, what else? They have to do what? You forget.
Yes, I did.
Okay. Use common sense and don't get us into trouble.
Oh, yeah, that was the rules over on Twitch, right? The rules for the
Oh, okay.
chat.
Okay.
Yeah, that should be
Well,
the
I think
rules in
that
general,
that
but
should,
they insisted we
yeah,
needed it
that,
over on Twitch, so I put use common sense and don't get us in trouble. There it
yeah.
is.
But I think that goes for all of our
Everywhere.
platforms. So, real, yeah, yeah. Use
Damn
your
that
common
thunder.
sense and please, yeah, don't get us into any trouble. Yeah, we're getting cloudy again.
Um, I don't think a tornado's gonna hit our area, but I'm
So,
sure our county's gonna get hit with some tornadoes today.
or something. Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise
So
me.
today's show got hijacked again, all because of Mr. Kimmy Jimmel.
Yep, Kimmy Jimmel's a dingbat.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
10 minutes worth of content that Crazy Bee actually cut down, one into an 8-minute segment and the other's 2 minutes.
6 minutes.
Probably is going to take us
Two?
6 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
Probably is going to take us today and tomorrow to get through. And a lot of the responses you're going to see, and we're not going to read through every single thing, but a lot of the responses are from Grok. And one of the reasons for the use of Grok is if you take a look at Truth Social, Blue Sky, X, I don't know if I've really seen it on Rumble or YouTube because it's really not available, but I don't know about any other platform. I know those three for sure. You'll often see a statement made, and the next thing right underneath of it is at Grok, is this true? Or at Grok, and a question follows it. So after looking at this, I started down the rabbit hole and started looking at all the different information that was out there. So there's articles, there's videos, there's all kind of stuff that has to be read, put together, looked at, sent over to Crazy Bee to take a look at what to do with it. And I was like, you know what? Why don't we just grok it today and see what Grok has to say about this? And as I used Grok, there are parts of Grok that used similar places that we looked at or has content from the same place. But Grok, and I'm going to call it a hit. I hate to say it. I'm going to call it he, because Grok does not sound like a girl's name. At least not to me, it doesn't. Does a nice job in summarizing the information and then providing the areas where it got the information. Now, remember, there's always more information that's out there, so don't take what Grok says as carte blanche. And what's funny is, in a lot of it, you're going to see Grok, which cracks me the hell up, reference Wikipedia as the source, which
Yeah.
proves that somebody programming is just too damn lazy to do the actual research that's necessary to get the correct info. So, but it's a starting point, and that's what we'll use Grok. Seldom we use AI. So if we do use AI, and seldom do we look at Wikipedia until after the fact of what we find, you can use those as starting off or jumping off points to get you to starting to, where you want to look. And that's kind of how I'd start. Obviously, the way you word your questions, the least amount of words that are in there, but then sometimes you need to have a bigger qualifying sentence in there. So we did the best that we came up with, but as we play the Kimmy Jimmel shit, as I call it, we are actually going to send him our working document that we have, and then we're going to send him our video that we have, debunking a large portion of what he has to say. Basically, Jimmy Kimmel, you're full of shit. And the issue that I took with this was I just started jotting down notes so that when we talked, that I'd make a comment about. And the more I looked at it, the more I was like, this isn't right. Wait, this isn't right. Wait, this isn't right. And so this is all propaganda from the left.
Very much.
And you got people believing this shit. And so,
because they don't bother looking any further than what they were told by someone famous who must be smarter than them. Eye rolls. Major eye rolling here.
It's ridiculous. And so we hijacked the shooting, which we will get into. This all does pertain to it. But we're going to go through the videos, and then we're going to go through what he had to say. And there's 6 areas within these minutes that he told some significant lies. Straight out, not lies.
Joys of being paid to say whatever you are paid to say. He doesn't have a brain. He's a bot. They hand him money, words spew out of his mouth.
There you go.
That's all there is to it. It's sad.
Yes, it is. So go ahead, hit play.
Alrighty. Let me make this visible to them if I can get my hand to work. I swear.
Go ahead, Vanilla. You do that and send it to me. I'll put it up.
Oh my God.
There. Go ahead. You do it, Vanilla. Send it to me, and I'll put it up.
All right. So here's what this jackass had to say, and I did have to alter the video and warp it and make a few changes.
Right.
But there's very little that I pulled out context wise. Actually, unless it had nothing, the only stuff that got pulled out is stuff that did not pertain to his argument about Trump and Melania. So
Right.
those are all there.
Right. And so
Sometimes
there's a portion, hold up one sec. So there's a portion at the very end that Crazy B dropped off because her and I didn't get a chance to talk. And I
Hmm.
had sent her the video first thing. So she took that part off, and that will be the King Charles part that we're going to talk about. But
Yeah.
that's in the original video, and that'll be in the description below.
Yes.
Okay.
You know how sometimes you wake up in the morning and the first lady puts out a statement demanding you be fired from your job? We've all been there, right? You've been there, right, Guillermo? Yeah, sure. Yeah. What a day. As you know, they had to cancel the White House Correspondents' Dinner in Washington on Saturday night after a man with multiple guns and knives crashed the party and may have shot a Secret Service officer. Fortunately, the guy was wearing a bulletproof vest and is okay. They're not sure exactly what happened, but they got the guy. He was charged today. No one was hurt, thank goodness. A lot of people were shaken up on a night that is supposed to be lighthearted. The White House Correspondents' Dinner, if you don't know, it used to be an annual event before Trump showed up. But every year they'd have a comedian roast the room. The president, the vice president, members of the press, everybody got roasted. I did it once. I hosted it. It was a lot of fun. But this year, they said, no comedian. We're bringing in a mentalist instead. So on Thursday, 3 days before the event, in order to keep that cherished tradition alive, I did my own version of the Correspondents' Dinner on my show. I put on a tuxedo. We pretended we had an audience of luminaries. We used old footage of the Trumps, of Pete Hegseth, J.D. Vance, Kid Rock, Vanilla Ice, all the members of his cabinet. And we made it seem like they were all together in a room. We had a little roast. Again, this was Thursday, and there was no big reaction to it until this morning when I greeted the day facing yet another Twitter vomit storm. And a call to fire me from our First Lady, Melania Trump, saying I should be fired because of a joke I made, again, 5 nights ago. It was a pretend roast. I said, our First Lady Melania is here. Look at her, so beautiful. Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow, which
Still not
obviously
funny.
was a joke about their
Yeah.
age difference and the look of joy we see on her face every
bad
time they're
taste.
together. It was a very light roast joke about the fact that he's almost 80 and she's younger than I am. It was not, by any stretch of the definition, a call to
This is what we call covering your ass after the fact. The backlash was
Absolutely.
bad. I hope the storm passes quickly.
Why it's
a
that
sec.
bad?
Yeah, it's heavy downpours. Um, so I'm hoping it'll go fast. He's an idiot. Yes, he is. That's the comments. But yeah, it's still not a funny joke. It can still be
No, it
taken
isn't.
multiple ways, and he still
Yes.
deserves to get scolded for it.
Yes, he does. At least do what they did to Whoopi and suspend him for a month, 6 weeks, whatever they gave her. Let him go on vacation without pay.
Oh Lord. Yeah, I'd say the rest of their lives without pay.
Mm-hmm.
Permanent vacation. So now we're in the cover my ass and still make inappropriate remarks, but just while covering my own ass stage.
Right. Right.
Alrighty.
assassination, and they know that. I've been very vocal for many years speaking out against gun violence in particular, but I understand that the First Lady had a stressful experience over the weekend, and probably every weekend is pretty stressful in that house. And also, I agree that hateful and violent rhetoric is something we should reject. I do, and I think a great place to start to dial that back would be to have a conversation with your husband about it. Donald Trump is allowed to say whatever he wants to say, as are you, and as am I, as are all of us, because under the First Amendment, we have, as Americans, a right to free speech. But with that said, I am sorry that you and the president and everyone in that room on Saturday went through that. I really am. Just because no one got killed doesn't mean it wasn't traumatic and scary. And we should come together and be best. We really should. But if you want us to believe that a joke I made 3 days before this dinner had any effect on anything that happened, well, then maybe someone should look into this psychic lady, too.
Speech tonight will be classic Donald J. Trump. It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight.
You know who's going to be furious when she hears that? White House Press Secretary Carolyn Levitt who will be furious. This was like deja vu for me today with all the news channels talking about this. Brian Stelter of CNN noted, incorrectly I think, that no one from the White House was specifically calling for my head. This is this morning. I guess the First Lady doesn't count. But whatever the case, the president cleared that up pretty quickly.
The administration's calling out Kimmel, trying to pressure ABC, but they're being careful, I think, not to explicitly demand that ABC punish him. Despite their rhetoric that sometimes becomes very incendiary from the White House, and yes, is also incendiary from the left, these stress tests have been passed, and we've not seen demands for silencing.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say that's funny that he said that it comes from the left. That's unusual.
Yeah. It is the left that wants us silenced. They don't want Nick
Yes.
Shirley doing his investigative work.
Right?
They don't want people like you and me going and talking about this kind of stuff. Nobody wants this info put out there. Nobody wants that big old bright spotlight shined right under their shadow. Because,
Right.
God, there's a demon in it.
Right. And before I forget, Crazy B, let's make the same statement we did yesterday to CBS that we are using this only for educational purposes.
Yes.
And for our audience,
we're not doing this for a sharing of any kind, but we are here to critique and talk about it.
correct.
For educational purposes.
Correct. And see what we can learn and garnish from it and what changes can be made for in the future.
Lots of discussion. Discussion.
Yes.
Lots of
Yeah, well, you're disgust. That was a combination probably of disgusted and discussion.
I'm sure it
I'll let
was.
you,
Oh my God.
yeah, I'll let you slide with that. Told you it's Tongue Twister Tuesday.
We are having multiple conversations and discussions about these topics, and we appreciate your news network airing these so we can borrow clips of them to share with friends and educate each other.
Yes.
So there's the ass kissing for the day.
There you go.
I'm only joking.
Just making sure we kiss that ass.
No, we didn't get in trouble yesterday. I think we'll be okay. So.
Right.
Be followed through by government censorship.
Well, Brian, just as we were speaking, the president actually put out a note demanding that Jimmy Kimmel be fired by the BBC.
Well, in that case, forget everything I just said. This really is a shame. One thing about Donald Trump, there's nothing he can't turn into a real estate opportunity. He immediately turned this into an argument in favor of his ballroom. He wrote, "This event would never have happened with the militarily top secret ballroom currently under construction at the White House." I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I'm afraid that top secret ballroom is no longer top secret. I have to admit something. I don't believe for 1 second that the reason he decided to build this ballroom is for security. But this was a pretty good argument for building. I might be pro ballroom now, weirdly, after this. That way, if anything terrible ever happens, at least they can dance. Trump sat for an interview / future $80 billion lawsuit with Norah O'Donnell of 60 Minutes, where he was asked about this manifesto his would-be attacker wrote.
He also wrote this: "I'm no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes." What's your reaction to that?
Well, I was waiting for you to read that because I knew you would, because you're horrible people, horrible people. Yeah, he did write that. I'm not a rapist. I didn't rape anybody.
Oh,
I'm not a
do you think he
pedophile.
was referring to you?
Excuse me.
General rule of thumb, you know an interview isn't going great when you have to say, I'm not a rapist and I'm not a pedophile.
You should be ashamed of yourself reading that. Because I'm not any of those things.
Mr. President,
And I
these
was
are the
never,
gunman's words.
excuse me. You shouldn't be reading that on 60 Minutes. You're a disgrace. But go ahead, let's finish the interview.
The other thing that he wrote in
You're
the
disgraceful.
I guess the honeymoon with the press didn't last. It was fun for 11 hours.
Yeah, that's that for that video.
Okay.
And that last bit from the 60 Minutes, I tried not to edit or shorten it or cut anything from it because they did enough of that themselves. There was nothing I could do.
Did they?
Yeah. All that
Okay.
editing of him talking to her, the shorts, the
Yes.
clips, the cut, you know how it jumped around a little?
Yes.
That was all them,
Yes.
not
Yeah,
me.
60 Minutes. Yeah, 60 Minutes got busted again, and we'll get into that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, I know you had some point by points at this point that we needed to.
Did we? Yeah. What was next after that? Was there another video or no?
Um,
I keep thinking.
no, we were going to ask about Donald Trump spewing violent rhetoric.
Oh, I sent you a DM. You want to show that first?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Hold on. Before we
There you
go
go.
any further, if I can get it
And
to line up.
as requested by one of our viewers. There you
Jimmy
go.
Kimmel
Jimmy
pregnant.
Kimmel. There you go. Feel sorry for the child.
Yes.
Just
I did.
saying. Yes, just saying.
So,
All right.
um,
So with that being said, first up we have what?
Grok asked because we were that
Well,
was
let's
this was
go over the claims. Yeah.
yes.
So yes. So here's the claims that Jimmy Kimmel made, okay? And this is what started this, why I got so upset about it. In this short video that we played, he made 6 claims. One was look at Trump first for no violent rhetoric. Number 2, he refers to Melania Trump's Be Best. I don't know if you caught that or not, but he referenced her Be Best platform. Third, he brought up Caroline Levitt's shots fired comment.
Mm-hmm.
Fourth, he brought up the ballroom and that he could now become pro ballroom. 5 was the CBS interview, the manifesto, the rapist and the pedophile comments. And 6, which we cut off, was the King Charles.
Yes.
There are the ultimately lies that were told. There was a lie. They called it Lie TV, LIE TV, Witness News. And basically, these people are fucking idiots that believe this shit. And we could probably, I know we're not going to get that today. Maybe we could pick that up, Crazy Bee, for tomorrow, the end part of that, so they could see how stupid people are. But so we're going to start out with response number 1. And that does President Trump spew a violent rhetoric?
Let's find
And
out.
so we have, so we have this Grok comment.
Is that the one you had earlier?
Oh no, it's not.
I literally copied and pasted what you put in earlier with the sentence
I know.
wording.
Isn't that interesting that it's changed? What's going on?
I don't know.
You saw it, didn't you?
Uh-huh.
This is very interesting because the ultimate okay, let me try something. Sorry, guys, we got to do some online checking because the
This was
initial
different
assess.
than what was what was just a few hours ago. A
Yes,
few hours ago was
absolutely.
completely different.
Yes, ma'am.
We might have to
What
start
the hell?
screenshotting these.
I'm going to from now on. That is so freaking bizarre. I mean, that's so scary right now that
I know.
why?
That
You
is
know what I mean?
not what was said. Uh-oh.
What do you recall seeing on there, Crazy Bee?
Hold on. It's funny. They, huh. They don't have it in our search, history for it. It had said Trump is not, has never made threats of violence and stuff. He sometimes used aggressive language or something, and then it was more or less just Trump's mostly neutral. He's not like the rest, that are actually calling for violence. And they are getting this from theatlantic.com and
Wow.
Axios.
So that's all left wing. So you
Mhm.
mean to, okay. This is so freaking fascinating right now. Why would that happen?
Because it was said. Oh, here, hey, buddy, take this spoon.
Oh, you
There
don't
you
want
go.
the spoon?
No, I don't want that spoon because you just handed me a new one. Oh, sorry. Um, yeah, I don't know why they changed it up other than to help cover for Jimmy Kimmel's ass for being an idiot. That's the only thing I could come
But,
up with.
who the hell would change? Okay, so now I just got it. Okay, so what's the difference? So here I got it now saying, no, he does not spew violent rhetoric
Oh, really?
in the sense of routinely calling for illegal violence, physical attacks on opponents, or incitement to harm.
Oh, not
Uh,
according to this one that I'm looking at.
okay, so which is it?
I don't know. This is why I don't like AI. It's like you never know.
So he does use combative, hyperbolic, and norm breaking words
Uh-huh.
such as fight like hell, retribution, enemy of the people, vermin, bloodbath, calls opponents scum, lunatics, radical left, or the Gestapo administration, according to the BBC.
What they
He's joked,
call us on the right.
right. He has joked around or said things like knock the crap out of them about protesters at the 2016 rally. I'd like to punch him in the face, or suggested that Liz Cheney should face rifles trained on her face in a Warhawk context. Okay,
Yeah, because
so
she
they're saying,
decided to be a jackass, so he said put her on the front lines. How's that a how's that a bad thing? I've been calling for all of our
right.
leaders on the front lines for years.
So they said this is an aggressive political. This is aggressive political rhetoric, common in populist outsider campaigning, but it is overwhelmingly metaphorical or about policy fights, elections, legal battles, fight the cases, or law enforcement cracking down on crime or riots. Trump has repeatedly condemned violence after events like the Capitol riot, telling people to go home peacefully, though critics dispute the timing and sincerity, assassination attempts on himself. Studies
Mhm.
from the UCLA tracking violent vocabulary and speeches show his language scores high on words evoking conflict, crime, or war compared to other modern politicians?
Has anyone talked to Maxine Waters about this? Or Nancy Pelosi?
Right.
Just questioning.
So, okay, so in short, Trump uses tough, inflammatory, martial language more than most polished politicians. It can sound violent when clipped, but spewing violent rhetoric implies direct calls to illegal harm, which is a partisan exaggeration more than accurate description. American politics has grown coarser over the board. Trump's version is loud, but rarely crosses into explicit advocacy for violence, unlike some historical incitement cases. He frames it as defensive fighting for the country's survival. Whether that's wise leadership or reckless is a values debate, not a simple fact of yes, he does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's funny how it went
What
from this side saying, "Oh, key examples of how he was so wrong." The fight like hell, if they throw a tomato, knock him out. Same things. Just basically saying,
what's up this?
yeah, all of a sudden Trump bad again.
So wow, this is
Mhm.
kind of weird.
Mhm.
So does that mean we're going to have to do screenshots now?
I would think so because it changes. Like Vanilla Pie says, AI sucks fat donkey. Well, never mind. And hi, JJ.
Hi, JJ.
Yeah,
The
AI
question
is
is now
wishy-washy now.
how we're going to be. Yeah. So the question is going to be how we're going to be able to share the links for the audience.
I'm gonna try to keep it all in one conversation, and then just share the link to the conversation itself.
Okay. Well, I'll try to do the same then.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll post them as Crazy B's conversation and D's conversation. Okay, here's me screenshotting. Stop you're OCDing about this shit. Just stop.
We can figure it out more
That is
tomorrow.
so freaking bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I literally have the chills from it.
Mm-hmm. It's
Either
weird the
that or I'm
way this
cold.
all gets turned around on people when it's convenient. Only when it's
Yes.
convenient. And
Wow.
yeah.
Okay. All
Uh,
right. So with that being said, then we have up next an article from
mm-mm,
Jimmy Kimmel. No, a
video
YouTube video.
from
Okay.
from the news station.
Got it. Got it. Okay, go ahead.
He says it's not the time for moments of silence, but rather a time to be loud. Late night host Jimmy Kimmel delivering an emotional message to all parents, to all Americans, and to the politicians who are blocking gun safety legislation that the vast majority of Americans want.
If your solution to children being massacred is armed guards, you haven't been paying attention to what's going on. There was an armed guard in Buffalo. There was an armed guard in Parkland. There was an armed guard in Uvalde. They had armed guards. There were police officers armed on the scene. And these murders still happen. And gun control laws do work, by the way. We know this. 26 years ago, Scotland had a school shooting that killed 16 kids and a teacher, and the government responded by enacting gun control legislation. And there hasn't been a school shooting in Scotland since then. In 1996 in Australia, a mass shooting killed 35 people. They passed gun legislation. They haven't had one since. This is the only country where this keeps happening. Firearms are now the #1 cause of death for American children and teens. #1. This is not a time for moments of silence. This is a time to be loud and to stay loud and not stop until we fix this. Some people say this is a mental health problem. Others say it's a gun problem. It is both, and it can be both. So let's work on both of those. There have been 27 school shootings so far this year in this country, and it's May.
Mm-hmm.
How does this make sense to
27
anyone?
school shootings since
These
May.
are our
Yeah,
children.
since January. Yes. But he doesn't like to mention that quite a few of them were because of radical nut jobs going and assaulting schools. He doesn't want to talk about the kid who broke into the parents' gun cabinet and started loading up with quite a few different guns that I think he got caught with. That one kid did. Then there was that guy
Right.
who was like 20 years old, went back to his old school, and the freaking principal and some of the staff wrestled the guy to the ground. Principal got shot in the leg, had to have surgery. Survived, but guy went to jail. I mean, school shootings, if there is a gang fight and guns are drawn on a school parking lot and shots are fired, that is a school shooting. They're cherry picking their data pretty soon. We'll show that.
Right.
But
Mm-hmm.
let me hit play because there's more.
And our representatives are supposed to represent us. We want limits on who can walk around with an AR-15, and it damn well shouldn't be a teenager who works at a fast food restaurant. If we can't agree on that, forget it. This is not their fault anymore. This is now our fault because we get angry, we demand action, we don't get it, they wait it out, we go back to the lives that we should rightfully be able to go back to. But you know who doesn't forget it? The parents of the children at Sandy Hook and
Well,
Marjorie
let's blame the
Stoneman
people,
Douglas
not
High
the
School,
guns.
and now Robb Elementary School. They won't forget it.
I say, and this is done now, but I say quit blaming the weapon that's being used. Blame the people who use that weapon.
Yeah.
Logic.
Because there's more than one weapon that could possibly be being used.
Mm-hmm. And that leads to the next situation, and that's right here.
Does that pull it up correctly?
Yep, he put.
Okay.
This is the Wikipedia one because he brought up
Well, that's
Australia.
why. There you go.
This is in the list, and then we'll go down through the Scotland ones.
Okay.
So this jackass
So
said, "Go ahead."
Yeah, I was going to say, go ahead.
Oh, I'm chewing
Go
food,
ahead.
so if you want to take over, please do.
No. Well, he basically made the statement that since 1996, when Australia implemented gun control laws, there had been no school shootings.
Mm-hmm.
And well, here's a list that dates back to 15. Well, this one's 1924.
4.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But let's jump to the 1990s.
Yep.
The one for Europe, the school shootings in Europe goes back to the 1500s. Okay, so here we are, 93.
Mm-hmm.
There was a shooting.
This is before legislation. That's before the legislation.
Here's
Okay,
October
so we went
of 96.
Okay. Maybe it passed in December of 96.
I don't know, because here's 99. And
Okay.
then 2002, 2005, 2012, 2023, 2023 again. Yeah, so he was saying, what about Australia being better for not having school shootings and mass killings? Because do we remember what happened at that beach festival with the Jewish people that got, randomly shot down by some other people on the beach in Australia last
Mm-hmm.
couple months ago?
Yep.
Yeah, so no mass shootings because of gun control. It works so well. Uh-huh.
Right.
I know a lot of
And
people who say otherwise.
wasn't in Scotland, didn't they confiscate the guns? They tried to do a buyback, but they also confiscated them.
That might have been Ireland.
Okay.
I can't remember.
I don't remember. Yeah.
Well, we can ask Grok
We've
as
looked
we
at.
go through the list.
Okay.
So we asked about Scotland's no shooting since 2000.
Right.
I'm going to
And
alter this to
Wikipedia.
school shootings
Yeah.
because Wikipedia basically says the same thing.
Right. Well, Wikipedia came up with everything from the UK. It just didn't separate out Scotland for us. And it included Russia, and
Didn't know
if I
Russia was
recall
part of the
correctly.
UK.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't either, but you never know.
Uh-oh. I take it wasn't phrased as a question enough.
Uh-oh. Let me go see how true this is.
Okay.
Go ahead, check that out, Crazy Bee. I
No,
just
there have
got
been no
something.
school shootings since the Dunblane massacre in 1996. It was a primary school. It was a horrible situation. A guy killed 16 children, mostly ages 5 and 6, and their teachers, and then injured another 15, and then died by self-elimination. However, as much as they like to say, oh, there's no gun problem in the UK, we asked another question. Hold on. Nah, my hands, they hate me. We're gonna ask how many knife assaults, since they said, obviously there's no shootings going on. Okay, so let's find out how many knife assaults have happened.
I got some breaking news, Crazy Bee.
Uh-oh. Who did what?
Well, it's 8 hours ago. Hold on, I'm sending it over to you real quick. This one is. I don't know how this got past my radar, but it popped up as on a different feed as a couple minutes ago.
In his Rolling Stone interview, Sugar, aka
We can hear
Okay, I
you.
just sent it over. Go ahead, I just sent it to you.
Yeah, it's still not here. Give me a minute. The weather's all messed up. Turns out the UK and Scotland, the police and the government, don't track every assault involving a knife. Isn't that funny? But, oh, guns bad. However, they want to restrict knives. Are you sure you sent it to me? And not somebody else?
Yes, I did. I think I did. Who knows? Let me try again. Let me see where it went. No, I sent it to somebody else. Who was it, though? Who'd I send it to?
Not me.
Who'd I send it? No, I didn't send it to you. Who'd I send it to?
I don't know.
Me neither.
Hard for me to share it when we don't know where it went. But I've done that before too.
It's nowhere in my that I sent file anywhere. Maybe it never went through because of the weather. Hold up. Let me go back. No, that's not it. Now I got to go back to Safari. Hold on. I got to pull it back up. Oh Lord, help me, help me. I'll grab the one that's this smaller one will go here. I'm going to copy the link. Coming over. I'm finding your name. I'm putting it under the pregnant picture. Here it comes over. Send. Okay.
There it is.
Got it?
Uh-huh.
Okay, we can cover that when we're done with this section here.
Okay.
So in this particular statement, I find fascinating that Scotland has the most assaults on teachers out of every country in the UK.
Uh-huh. I think that's a separate
How's that
question.
possible?
Hold on a sec. I gotta make sure I don't play this. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, I didn't pull that out as a separate question. That's in
Okay.
this document here under the knives in the knife comment. It's
Yeah, they're really trying to cover, like, they're trying to sugarcoat this nonsense. That
yes,
since they took away guns, knife violence has skyrocketed
yes,
big time.
because some type of weapon is going to be used.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Some of these crimes are possession only, not assaults.
Right.
True. And that's not fair to the people who just own it. Homicides involving sharp instruments, knives, a large share of homicides, 50 to 60% in recent years, but total homicides fell dramatically from 103 in 2004 to 57 to 62 in recent years. So what aren't they showing? What aren't they putting in the books?
Right.
Because the numbers don't make sense. This is, again, doctoring of it.
Right.
I don't trust it.
Well, and I'm going to tell you that having worked in the field, I can guarantee you that shit gets doctored.
Mm-hmm.
That assaults can be, any crime code other than typically homicide or rape can be downgraded when classifying things. Oh, guess what? Grok won't even let me use it because it's overloaded right now.
Sorry. I apologize.
No, I'm using my personal account. I'm not
Oh,
even on our account. Yeah, I'm on my personal account.
that's odd.
Grok is overloaded.
Well, he's gonna be
What
mad because
I
I'm
can
about to
do?
ask another one.
Uh-oh.
Well, you asked another question in here that I think is worth asking. And why haven't we passed legislation to prevent school shooters? And that led to other conversations. So the U.S. has not passed a sweeping national legislation akin to the UK's handgun ban, primarily due to the constitutional political cultural and practical barriers. Yeah, we like defending ourselves. And even in my neighborhood, having a gun is safe and smart because you could have a deer, a meth head, a coyote, a crackhead, or a mountain lion come through your yard at any given time. So, and if you end up with all 5 or 4, however many I listed up, you best just hide. But yeah, we do have laws in place. The problem is the criminals don't give a shit about the legislation. Go ahead, pass all the laws you want. How do you make the criminals listen?
Right. They're not.
What good is
If a
this
criminal
legislation?
Right.
What good is this going to be if they don't give a shit about it?
Because maybe they can't read.
I think it's just ridiculous. And here's the biggest thing. Do you see anything from Grok that shows the criminals don't give a shit about your laws? Why are you asking?
No, not at all.
No, it gives all
Nope.
kinds of pros and cons to all of this stuff and the debates and the evidence.
Mm-hmm.
How about the simple fact criminals don't care?
Right.
You could put so many laws on the books. Criminals don't care. So what do you do then? How do you make a criminal care?
You don't.
So what do? Keep putting laws into place that don't. That's a waste of taxpayer dollars.
Right. Exactly.
So what do?
Well, I don't even know about putting laws into place because is Congress doing it, making any laws? I don't know.
I mean, think about it. Put all those signs. No guns allowed in a theater.
Right.
Good luck. Criminals don't
How
care.
many people? Yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm. Blue Rose just said
I'm
it.
right about it to fall off. Yep.
Criminals will be criminals with or without your opinion.
Yep. Or your permission.
Yeah, that too. So why put more laws on the books? How about we enforce the shit we have?
Yeah. You found 2 laws, didn't you? You found a law which led to another law,
I
which
thought you
led
put
to a
that in
bunch of
here. Did you
laws.
put those in here?
Nope, I didn't. I failed to. Did you send them to me? Yeah,
I
you
believe I
sent them to
did.
me.
Let me scroll back up.
Please say you didn't.
Say I did.
Say you didn't.
Found it.
Fuck.
Why?
Because I didn't get them to put them in there.
Oh,
That's
it's not
why.
the end of the world. Jeez.
Well, at least I remembered them. I guess that's something.
True. That is. One
Okay,
second.
so
Will
why
I
don't
put it
you
all
bring those?
together?
Yeah,
I'm gonna get that all together. 1 second.
that's probably because I'm blaming crying all day. So
it could be anything.
tears and pain. Tears and pain.
Yes, those happen.
I'm gonna make that into a country song. Tears and pain and vodka. Somehow is gonna turn into my new country song.
Oh, that works. So the Gun-Free School Zone Act. There's already no school shooters allowed. They're not allowed to bring guns to school because of this back in 1990. Yet, what has happened?
Really?
All the way back in 1990.
Then what's the problem? What's
We
the
need
problem?
more
Why
laws.
do we need?
We need more laws to tell the criminals to obey the laws we already wrote. Maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
Criminals don't give a fuck. I really don't know. Make it make sense.
I don't recall when we've had these school shootings that these laws were brought up. Do you?
I mean, this law literally means you cannot have a gun at school unless you have specific permission.
Right.
Yet,
but what I'm saying
unauthorized people are bringing guns to schools, and what's going on? They say we need stricter gun laws. I mean, well, this is it. You're not supposed to have a gun within 1,000 feet of a school. Or a courthouse. Or anywhere else that says no guns.
Did you say a whorehouse?
No. The courthouse.
Okay.
The courthouse.
I thought you said a whorehouse. I was like, okay.
A
All right.
courthouse, a
Protect those
mall, a
properties.
school, all of those places you're not supposed to have guns at. I mean, all us law abiding citizens don't drag our guns there.
Right.
But the bad guys believe in that rule because it's kind of a
So
one-sided.
that means that those teens that brought those guns to the Louisiana Mall just on Thursday or Thursday, they are in violation. Well, that wasn't school. That was technically at the mall. So it would depend on
It's still part of a. Well,
what the
that's a
mall's
gun-free zone. This is specifically the school zones, but malls are
right.
gun-free zones. So are courthouses,
Okay.
federal buildings, state buildings, all no-nos for guns.
Oh, that's all in this law?
Says that for the specific, like this one I think is specifically the schools. The Gun-Free School Zone Act is an act of the U.S. Congress prohibiting any unauthorized personnel unauthorized individual from knowingly possessing a loaded or unsecured firearm in a place that the individual knows or has reasonable cause to believe is a school zone, as defined by 18 USC, whatever that funny little symbol is, blah, blah, blah. The law applies to public, private, and parochial. Shit, my hand just did that. I did not mean to. Nope. Go back. My hand. Elementary schools and high schools, and to non-private property within 1,000 feet of that school. It provides the states and their political subdivisions may issue licenses that exempt the licensed individual from the prohibition. Basically, this is focusing solely on the schools. There's other ones for courthouses and federal buildings and stuff like that. They're a gun-free zone.
Right.
This was passed by George Bush
Right.
Sr. So, yeah.
And
Or
then
no.
you said from there we found something else, right?
Yeah, I don't know if anyone noticed over here in this cute little thing. It might be hard to see because of the chat being over there. It says right here that there's other short titles. And it turns out these are all wrapped up in this school gun-free zone bill. Anabolic Steroids Control Act of 1990. Child Protection Restoration and Penalties Enhancement Act of 1990. Comprehensive Thrift and Bank Fraud Prosecution and Taxpayer Recovery Act of 1990. Criminal Victims Prosecution Act of 1990. Federal Debt Collection Procedures Act of 1990. What does that have to do with gun zones? I mean, I kind of understand some of these. Mandatory detention for offenders convicted of serious crimes act, National Child Search Assistance Act of 1990, National Law Enforcement Cooperation Act of 1990. These all just got thrown into the gun control bill, in case y'all didn't know.
My question has to do with, this is like the 10,000 or 11,000 pages that get shoved before Congress that they have to vote on in 4 hours, and you would never be able to read it. How could they possibly vote on one bill and know everything that was in that bill that covered all these areas? They didn't read this shit. What are you fucking kidding me? Can you click on any of them by any chance?
No, but I can click on like the 101st one. The status at large you might be able to get. Oh, no, that's different. That's from 2011. Unfortunately, no. I can't click on any of these.
Okay. Can you highlight one? Can you highlight any of them and drop it into the search engine? Like can you highlight the Crime Victims Protection Act?
Uh, let's see if it'll work. Ah, there it is. Also from 1990.
Okay, go down. There's the actual bill on congress.gov. Let's just see it. I want to see how involved it is.
Wow, it's
2
2 pages.
Okay. Oh, it's amendments to the
Uh-huh.
chapters.
Yep, but this was squeezed in with the Gun Act. Make it make sense.
It doesn't.
Oh, Vanilla says they should have a quiz on the bills they want to pass. Without a passing grade, you can't vote. Amen.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Well, my thing is they should only be voting on one bill at a time. I'm sorry.
And they should have to
You know,
have
you
some
bring.
competency
Yep.
of what the bill is about.
Yes. Exactly. And every bill should get brought forward. You know what I mean? The shit that this stuff has, been sitting there for, a year and a half, it is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Like they waited to do the Voting Right Act, till before, right before frickin'
Mm-hmm.
doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense.
None of it does.
Okay. Nope. What do we have next?
Okay, you wanted a list by country, with the most violent schools. Oops.
Well, that had the is that how the query, not violent? Yeah.
Provide a
Is that the
detailed list
question?
by country with the most school violence.
Right.
So, yeah, my wording is a little funky because I was trying to copy and paste
Where's
as
my
we were
phone?
going.
I lost my phone. Grok, I'm disappointed in you.
Mm-hmm. He's a dirty little scoundrel today.
Yes, he is. He's on overload. Jeez, I'm telling you.
School violence is a broad term. No shit.
Now, here's what's interesting is that's totally different than what was said.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally different. I said, give me a list.
Uh-huh. And here's the list. From 2009 to 2018. We've had 288 incidences of school violence. And given our population and the amount of weapons that are freely available in the United States to most people, I say that's pretty good if there's only 288 over a 9-year period.
I would agree.
If you're looking at population size.
Right.
Mexico, I'm calling bullshit. I'm calling bullshit that there was only 8 incidents in 9 years in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. Some violence spilling. There's gang violence. They're saying notable for cartel related or gang violence spilling into the schools. Just 8. Yeah, okay. South Africa is only claiming 6 incidences.
I
That's
question that.
over on X. I follow people who are going on giving info about what's going on right now. That's bullshit.
Right.
And I am talking back in 2009 to 2018 in the 9 years period they gave. India, um, It was per some compilations.
In- Yeah, per some compilations, which it doesn't list, a
So it's
variety of
not
causes,
accurate.
including personal disputes. And again, with such a large population, only 5. Okay,
5 that they know of.
right.
Uh-huh. Nigeria.
Now and the other issue with all of this has to do with the way it's reported, if they
Mm-hmm.
report at all. Because some
Yes.
countries, some cities now in the United States do not turn in crime stats.
Mm-hmm. That's not good.
Yep. And I'll tell you what, auditing rarely occurs
Mm-hmm.
to see what's going on.
Afghanistan only had 3
Brazil, so,
incidences linked to
yeah,
conflict over
right,
insurgent attacks.
right,
Uh-huh.
uh-huh. Brazil, Canada, and France, two each. Okay.
Now I know this is bullshit. Well, no, I can't say that. Canada, there was a lot of murders at home by teenagers against their parents and family. There's a lot of that in Canada, but it's not happening on
Yeah,
school grounds, so that's a difference. We we're not going to get accurate information out of China or Russia
no,
or Turkey.
no, no,
I don't know about the other ones, but obviously one incident each. That what we get know of.
right,
Uh-huh.
right,
May have happened out in rural nowhere and didn't even make the news.
right. Now, this one, I think is very important to state, and that's that there is broader school violence, meaning non-shooting. That's bullying, fights, and assaults. So there's no equivalent global incident by incident ranking that exists. There's various survey data that's used from about 100 countries. Highest rates of bullying and physical fights / attacks occur in the sub-Sahara Africa, the Middle East / North Africa, and the Pacific, often 30 to 40% of students reporting involvement in the past month or year. It's lower in Europe, Central America, and parts of Asia. Specific studies in low to middle income countries such as Honduras, Kenya, Nigeria, and Uganda report 12 to 54% of youth experiencing school-related physical or sexual violence. There are self-reported prevalence rates, not raw incident counts, and include peer-on-peer violence rather than mass events. What's interesting is there's not US info detailed in there,
Of course not.
which we know occurs like
Mhm.
crazy. Yeah,
It's just we probably have, yeah, we may have more gun shootings at schools, but I mean, we still don't know how many of those may be linked to someone being bullied and they thought that was their
right,
only defense. And I'm not saying it is, but from the mind of a child, yeah. Um
right.
so there's that. And then taking domestic violence at home can often lead to kids being
Yes,
bullies and jerks and assholes. Oh yeah.
yeah, yep,
So there's
yep.
a lot.
So the key caveats or the takeaways from this section where the definitions do matter. Some lists only include intentional multi-victim attacks. Others include any gun discharge, accidents, or suicides on campus.
Mhm.
US figures are higher partly due to better reporting and a massive number of schools / guns in circulation. Trends: US school shootings have continued at elevated levels post 2018. hundreds in broad counts annually in recent years. Most other high-income nations have near zero or single-digit totals over decades.
That
That
was
is Scotland
knowledge.
/ A. Causes. Expert link U.S. patterns to firearm availability, mental health gaps, and cultural factors. Elsewhere, conflict, gangs, or poverty dominate. Data is not perfectly current or uniform across all nations. Many developing countries underreport or classify incidents as terrorism/crime.
Mm-hmm.
So, if guns are to go away and we still have the issues of conflict, gangs, and poverty, what is going and mental health issues, what's
Doesn't
going to
stop the
take its place?
criminals. The criminals will still get
Yeah,
a gun illegally.
right,
Go ahead, take all the
right.
good people's guns away. Criminals are still
Right.
gonna find guns. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
God.
Right. In
Yeah.
summary, the U.S. stands alone in the volume of school shootings. For non-firearm school violence, patterns skew towards lower income or conflict affected regions without a clear top country in total incidence. Uh, and
They're
this
so
is where I
afraid of being
hollered.
called racist. It's funny.
Yeah. And this is where, okay, let me finish the statement. If you'd like per capita adjustments, data for specific country/region, deadliest incidents only, or sources for bullying stats, provide more details! Exclamation point. To which I hollered back at Grok, you don't need to holler at me. I can ask the question.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, what's next?
Mm. I'm sorry. The rice is getting a little sticky. It's been sitting a little too long. Uh, paste. Um, this is about, do the armed guards or security make a difference?
Okay, so the question is, do unarmed or armed security guards or police personnel presence prevent violence in United States schools? And evidence on the effectiveness of security guards or police, usually called school resource officers, in preventing U.S. school violence is mixed, limited, and context dependent. Armed personnel, most common for SROs, show some benefits for everyday incidents like fights, but little to no uh, proven reduction in school shootings or mass casualties. Now, this is opposite of what was said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating.
I'll
Uh
tell you,
huh.
the
Because,
SRO did absolutely jack shit. He was on the other side of the school. When my son was his freshman year, girl got stabbed in the school. She was stabbed like 16
mm-hmm,
times. She was down the hall from where my son was in his room. There was nothing anyone could do to stop this girl. The teacher couldn't move fast enough. Other students couldn't move fast enough. Resource officer, there were two of them. They were at the entrances of the school. Could not get there fast enough. Sorry. When someone's going to commit a crime, there's going to be injured people before anyone can do a freaking thing about it.
well, here's what I'm saying. This is a different answer than I got earlier.
Oh, it
And I
is.
think I know the
Again?
reason. Yes, it is. And I think I know the reason why, because Grok only thought about it for 5 seconds. See that?
Mm. Okay.
The answer was yes for school shootings and no for fights and assaults and other things.
Now it's
This
flip
fat
flop.
this is freaking fascinating. Why?
Told you. I don't trust AI.
Uh-huh.
It's good
All right. So
for a
from
starting point. It's worth doing this for the starting point of where to go to look for more, but
but
I
you
would not take it
need
as the God given truth.
no, it is not. no, and we don't use it. And this is one reason why we don't use it.
Mm-hmm.
But today, as I said, I wanted to grok out because when you start seeing this repeated grok on every single X post that you see, start to challenge it. You know, what question did they ask? How did they ask it? Like, you know, you asked the same question. Did you get the same result? You
Mm-hmm.
know, share it with, you know, this is totally different than what I got earlier today. This is twice now.
Uh-huh.
So from now on, if we use this, I will screenshot before I do
I
anything.
agree. We need to, if we do,
Yes.
screenshot and save as best we can. Even
Yeah.
if you got to make it small, I can enlarge the pictures,
Yep.
crop
Yep.
them into fitting.
Yep.
But I'll tell you, it's, the most a secure, like an armed officer will do is keep a stranger from coming into the school. If a student is pissed at another student, they will find a way to get shit in. I
Oh yeah.
tell you, hey, you go into the school first, meet me at that back locker room door. I'll come in later. I got to hand something to
Mm-hmm.
you. Really? Anyone ever think to
Yep.
look at those doors? Oh no. Well, there's about a fifth of marijuana, a fifth of like whatever, a 5K of crack or whatever is going to get through the door. I mean, just
Yep.
take into consideration anything that can be us. The girl at my son's school came in with a steak knife. A frickin'
Mm-hmm.
kitchen steak knife.
Yep.
And there were resource officers and security guards
Well,
and
yeah.
staff everywhere.
Right.
And they couldn't do a damn
I
thing.
also I also think it matters. In my opinion, they should be armed. I'll bet you any money they hesitate whether to shoot a child or not.
I want
But
teachers
if
better trained how to
yes,
interfere and take down and restrain a child with a weapon. Give
yes,
them some judo classes for of God.
yep, yep,
Teach
or
these
keep a
teachers how to
or
restrain
keep
and detain.
yeah, keep a frying pan in the desk drawer and get it out and whap
You
somebody.
don't got to shoot the teen, but you need to interfere so the violence has to stop at that second.
Hmm.
But this teacher could
But
not get away from their
but I
desk
will
and across the room fast enough. It happened
but
that
I will
fast.
yeah, I will tell you that if you've ever watched those videos where the wacko kids are going off on the teachers or the other students, I
Hmm.
could see where they'd be scared. I mean, they've
That's
done
where
enough damage to
training
cause
needs to come
P
in.
yeah, PTSD. Now, whoever thought that you would have needed that to become a teacher?
For an inner city school, absolutely.
Yeah.
The school where my daughter just went to graduate, nope,
Hmm.
not even close. You wouldn't need it there. The kids
Right.
aren't that bad here. They're
Right.
assholes. They'll do stupid shit. They'll do that dumb preppy white kid with the polo shirt sticking something in a socket somewhere to short it out. Idiotic behavior.
Right.
But in an inner city, you better absolutely know how to drop someone's ass into a chokehold or something. I'm not saying choke them out, but threaten to put some pressure and they'll stop most of the time.
Right. Right.
But like again, I and then they have these stupid rules at the public school there. Oh, teachers can't put their hands on a student.
Right.
What? What?
Like,
Yeah.
yep.
I think teachers should have weekly martial arts training and a lot of practice of hands-on takedown. Work with the wrestling coach.
There
Teachers,
you go.
learn to take them down. Learn to pin them. Put them in a triangle hold.
There you
And arm bar those mother. I mean, there's so many ways that teachers could be more involved if they weren't really having their hands tied. The good teachers, not the crazy
right.
teachers. Crazy teachers will just sit there and cry anyways. But I mean, there's definitely some teachers out there who could put a person in a chokehold or hold them down some way. Headlock, anything. to save the
Right.
other students.
Right.
Is it that hard?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, everyone's afraid of getting hurt. Everyone's afraid of the lawsuit. Well, I'm afraid of my kid getting hurt because you can't keep the other kids in check.
Uh-huh.
Do something. I'm sick of that shit. And again, knowing firsthand because my son was in a massive school lockdown because of the insanity.
Right.
That's the only reason I have any 2 cents in it is his freshman year, first week within the first 7 school days. That shit happened.
Wow. That's craziness.
It is.
Okay. What else on this article?
Mm. Impact
Anything
on
big?
general school violence, including so positive findings. Some rigorous studies show SROs present to 30% fewer non-firearm violent incidents and better detection of weapon and drugs. Law enforcement officer presence have been negatively associated with violent crimes in certain data sets. Wasn't it the SRO's drug dogs that found that this is again back at the school where my son used to go? They found that the vice principal and one of the other teachers was like smoking marijuana in the parking lot of the school, and
Gee,
they
really?
also had a 22 firearm in the car as well. This was where my son went to school, but just like in the last 2 years that this happened. So yeah, some schools definitely need drug and weapons detection, and but not all of them. So shouldn't it
No,
be
but
by
no,
necessity
it should
based?
be. No, I think it should be an ongoing thing by all schools, just like all employees, depending on your job, might have mandatory drug testing. This should be a mandatory, in my opinion, something that they do. That that this is the expectation, this is the outcome,
Hold up.
and instead just as needed, because you don't know, Crazy B, some of these schools that we think are positive are sometimes the worst in that you find out that there have been underlying hazing or selling of drugs or,
Mm.
sexcapades or whatever going on. So if everybody knows that there's potential to be looked at or to be scrutinized in some way, why not?
Well, right here in this first paragraph for the key trade-offs, increased discipline and criminalization. SROs are linked to higher suspensions, expulsions, arrests, and police referrals, often for minor offenses.
Well, that's training on the SRO then,
No.
because if
If
it's
they're gonna, okay, if they took this student before the principal and said they need to be suspended or expelled for these reasons or arrested by the local police because this is obviously and disorderly conduct is a criminal offense.
yeah, if it's but didn't you say that it said it was a minor offense?
They claim often for minor offenses using disorderly
Right.
conduct as an
That's what I'm
example.
saying. Right. Okay, so I'm saying if it's a minor offense that you were late to class by 10 minutes or something,
That's
if
not
it's minor,
disorderly conduct. That's tardy.
right, okay. Right, hold on. But if it's a minor offense and it's going before the principal and an SRO's bringing it, that's SRO training. But if it's anything that goes on to the crimes code for your state, right, or the federal government's crimes code list, it's
Mm-hmm.
a crime, no matter what it is. Loitering on the corner is a crime.
So what, the
If you're
SROs
coming,
should turn their head the other way because heaven forbid, the numbers should be increased
no,
because we're actually doing no, like what they're saying in this
no, what
part,
I'm saying
not
is
what you're saying.
it's no different. It's no different than a traffic cop pulling you over for speeding or a traffic ticket and
Yeah.
saying, "Hey,
So
you were
they're
going
mad
30 miles."
these
Yeah,
kids
you were
got
going.
caught.
Yeah, you're going 30 miles over. Next, slow down, or next time, I'm going to have to write you a ticket.
Yeah, but in
Same
this
thing.
case,
I'd give the kid a chance, right? I'd give the kid a chance. Second time, you're getting hauled into the principal.
but the
But
way
if
this
they're,
is worded, it's the SROs are the problem for punishing the children for the behavior.
well, that's where we'd have to look at the actual documents to decide, was it a first time offense and what was the reason behind it? If they strictly were by the book, is there something wrong with being by the book? There is a reason, after all, for it being on the
Mm-hmm.
books, right? Because minor behavior, criminal minor behavior typically leads to more violent behavior or more criminal behavior.
Oh God! Now they're trying to say Black and Hispanic students are basically pointed out and centered out for it. I have seen that in some schools, but I've
Yeah,
also seen the kids absolutely acting a fool and making the stereotypes fitting. So, yeah, they got themselves in trouble, but they're saying that this is the school to prison pipeline. So maybe if our schools were doing their job, it wouldn't feel like a
right?
prison, and then the kids wouldn't have to go to prison because they learned how to do something for themselves and be something in the future.
Correct.
There's also mixed feelings from the students. Some feel safer, others, especially students of color, report feeling less safe. And like
I
as
don't really
or
give a
more
shit.
like they are viewed as a threat. If you are
You know what?
doing nothing wrong, then don't worry.
Exactly. And I really don't give a shit what color you are. I don't care. You're the child. Let's preface, you are the child, not the adult in the room, and the
Uh-huh.
adults will make the decision. Too
Yes.
bad. And particularly if your parents aren't going to be the ones to dictate behavior and the school has to, well, then by all means, let the school do what the school got to do.
Yeah. I don't know.
Now, the things that would be consistent would be, right, is if you took a school that had all races, or it doesn't even matter if you took any of the schools within a city, right? And you compared them to how many, we'll say, trespassing, okay, after hours on school property. How many black kids got arrested? How many white kids? How many Hispanic? How many Asians, etc.? Right?
Uh-huh.
How many of them got sent to jail? Of them, how many were prosecuted and, had some type of sentence or fine? Once you can start determining those patterns and have proof as to actually what we're talking about
Mhm.
and start comparing that, that's when I think we can have a conversation about it. Not me and you, but in general, is
Yes.
when a conversation should occur. But these are the types of questions that I don't think people are asking. They're just taking it for carte blanche and not thinking beyond the statements that are being made. Now, as I said, this section in particular is totally different than what I got earlier today.
And
And
that's
Grok
because
still won't
social
let me.
media
Yeah,
and headlines have
yes,
changed since
yeah,
earlier today.
yeah. And Grok will not let me back in still.
Uh-huh.
So,
And since we have this up, um wait, hold on. Overall US school homicide rates remain low compared to the broader youth violence. Wait, we just heard otherwise.
right. Yes. Make it make sense.
Oh my god. I don't know how to make it make sense. Now, do I think a gun should be pulled on a kid every time they start a fist fight? No. Uh,
No.
make sure there is
Right.
a weapon in their hand, not reaching for one. Double check, play it safe. When it comes to a kid, kids make sudden movements, kids jerk, kids do weird things. Kids are nervous. They may reach for their phone in their pocket or a vape or whatever else they might have during a high tension situation. I think that it is a risk factor, but to wait until you actually see the weapon before drawing yours. Try to de-escalate with words. Kids are different. If you see an adult coming in with a gun, just take him out.
Exactly.
That's if he's got a gun in hand or he's reaching like he's grabbing something, that's an adult. Take him out. Kids,
Yep.
take your time. Give it a second. Try to get everyone to de-escalate. Pay attention. Get more help. Get more backup. And if a gun is brandished, you got to do what you got to do.
Right.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
so I have after 9 o'clock, and
Oh
we need,
shit! We already are.
yeah, and we need to finish up. I have to be up very early.
I think there was only
So
2 more, but
okay, we'll pick those up tomorrow, as well as the other breaking news thing that I sent over to you.
okay. I
'Cause
didn't even
I don't
realize it
know.
got so late.
Yeah, and didn't you have something you were going to play about a?
Yes,
I can't.
yes.
Yes.
I gotta
Okay.
grab
So
it
this
from
is
over
our,
here.
yeah. So this is our ending piece for today, and we will be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Mm-hmm. Uh, let's open it up over here while I fix the um yeah, that thing. The yeah. Um this woman thinks she's a dog. This is um the video is AI generated. Ah, shit. Damn, it's AI generated, but still funny. So here we
Okay, go
go.
ahead.
Yep, that's what. Well, if it was real, it would be funny. But you
It's
know,
still funny.
oh, it's still funny. Yeah. Okay, true. I'll give it that. It is funny.
Still funny.
Don't pretend you're
All
something
right.
you're not. Let me
Yeah.
update the list over
Okay. While
here.
you're doing that, thank you everybody for joining Rex Sisters this evening. We appreciate your support and everybody that has dropped into the chat. Please don't forget to like, follow, comment, share, subscribe, set your notifications so you don't miss an episode. We welcome everybody that has been on YouTube, Rumble, X, Spotify, Twitter. We post on Instagram, Blue Sky, Truth Social, TikTok, and we're not quite human yet on Facebook.
Yep.
And with that being said, don't forget the Discord we have available.
Yep.
Please don't forget about creating emojis for Rex Sisters. Again, if you can't make the emoji yourself, if you have an idea of something that we could do, send it over and we will try to make it happen for you
And yes, we're on
and
Blue
see what we
Sky.
could do.
Yes, JJ, we are on Blue
Yeah.
Sky.
Yes. As hard as it is,
We've
again,
actually
it's
got like
know thine
7
enemy.
followers over there. I'm shocked.
Yep. Yes. Know thy enemy.
There is some good stuff there, but mostly it's kooky people.
Yes.
So it is what
Hmm.
it is.
Right. But we're trying to change minds and get people to think
Yep.
out of the box at least. So hopefully we touch one, then I guess our job is done or
Yep.
we've accomplished something, right?
Something better than nothing, right?
Yep. And with that being said, I'm done, Crazy B. I gotta go.
Alrighty, folks. I'm going to tell y'all to stay safe, stay sane, stay sober, and as always, we'll catch you on the next one. Have a good night.
Good night.